ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the fourth set. Wunjin Stars and STXO facing against each other in the Pro League Finals, spawning in the top left-hand position as the yellow Protoss player from Wunjin Stars. His name is Free. Is that who I think it is? Is that GG play?
Oh yeah, I think it is. Even the Korean, even the people are confirming that. I was like,
GG play, man.
I was like, is it really him?
That's right. He is actually, I believe, the last. Is he the last Star League winner for Wunjin Stars?
For Brood War.
Yeah, for Brood War.
Yeah, his opponent from STXO, a red Zerg player spawning in the bottom right-hand position. His name is hyvaa.
Indeed.
Sorry, you got too excited for GG play, man.
Just a little bit of backstory. GG play was a very popular Zerg player for Wunjin Stars back in the day, and the thing is, like, he had such a sharp rise. He produced one of the greatest finals ever in the history of Brood War. We got some guy with shades on. Looks eerily familiar, but I don't know exactly who that is.
I think Wunjin Stars, maybe a former player. Because remember, even Wunjin Stars and STXO, they're always talking about, oh, we're going to bring the former players because it's been a while since we made it to the finals.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and GG Play, if you haven't looked at it, yes, it's Brood War, but go watch it. GG Play versus Iris, a.k.a. Berserker, set number 5 on Python.
Oh, yeah. That was
oh, my God.
Game. Whenever I see GG Play, that's like what I think of. Also, head-to-head, Free was 4-0 against hyvaa when it came to Starcraft 1, but in Starcraft 2, we do have hyvaa actually just a 1-0 lead.
And in fact, that 1-0 lead was in Pro League.
Yeah, indeed it was. So it's our first PvZ of the night, and the only one. Oh, never mind, we have two. We got another one right after this. Excuse me. And that'll be, of course, Zero versus Trap.
It's okay. We're so used to casting PvP every single time, so
yeah. We only actually have 2 PvPs though in the finals here, so I know everyone's happy about that. We got a mix of all matchups except for mirrors for Terran and Zerg. And hyvaa opening up very normal, very standard here for the pool and then hatch, and of course Free going for the Nexus and then putting down the Forge. So overall, just very, very standard openings on each end here. And really, PvZ has evolved to that point, and you don't see much deviation in the early game. It's either the Gateway expand or it's the Forge expand. And from the Zerg's end, they'll go for the hatchery first occasionally, or, you know, just start off with the spawning pool open.
Definitely. I mean, if you do some other build, it's going to get countered right away. Yeah, as a lot of Protoss players and a lot of Zerg players, they figured out how to defend against the early pressure from their opponent. We've seen the Gateway expansion openings. We still see the Forge Fast expansion openings from our Protoss players. So Protoss players, they have a little bit more variation in the early game builds, but certainly they can still go back to the Forge first, expand, and just put up a cannon and play it a little bit safer.
Nice little maneuvering there from Free. Just going to go ahead and put down the pylon so the Zerglings couldn't get into his main base. And then he canceled it at the last second and completed off as well there. So, you know, just little cute tricks that the pro players use.
Yeah, but you also remember, you also don't want to sneak in a single Zergling and give your opponent a lot of confidence going into the finals match.
Yeah, Protoss players absolutely hate it when Zerg players manage to get those Lings in early game. It's such a mental advantage on the Zerg's end.
Even some Zerg players, when they sneak in a Zergling inside the main base, they think they already won the game for some reason because they achieved something really big by sneaking a Zergling inside the main base.
It's like if you're, from the Protoss perspective, if you're playing against Terran and kill an SCV or too early on, it's like, oh, I am such in good shape now.
Except they only realize it's just a small victory, small mind game victory early in the game.
Alright, well, it looks like hyvaa is getting his 3rd expansion, and he is placing his geysers, one in the main, one in the natural. Knowing hyvaa is going to be going for an aggressive Roach opening soon here or something, because he got the gas a little bit earlier than normal, and he's already starting to mine from them very quickly here. Making up to 8 Zerglings now. 10, 12.
Oh!
This is the patented hyvaa aggression, getting a lot of Zerglings out. Maybe he'll go for a Baneling Bust. He's getting Zergling speed right now. Is he going to get any other type of speed besides that?
Oh man, sometimes I don't like these random camera shots, but that one was completely worth it. And look at this, his opponent, Free, is getting a really fast 3rd base, and now this means that these Zerglings, they're going to be cost efficient, forcing a cancel on the 3rd base early on in the game.
They are, yeah, the 3rd base I don't think it's going to be able to compete against the aggressive play that Hyvaa loves to do early on in the game. And, oh, there's J-Ho Lee, and
Sup, J-Ho?
the other guy sitting next to him is actually the ingredient producer I was talking about earlier. That's
okay.
what I worked with when I was doing the OSL casting.
Okay. Now we got the Zerglings over here. There is a Mothership Core, but if the cannon finishes, these Zerglings are going to do nothing.
Well, alright, so overall, actually, excellent placement, and Hyvaa actually committed less Zerglings than I thought to this attack, so Free gonna actually get away with a very greedy and early expansion at that third. This is gonna set him up for an excellent mid to late game economy, and he can also go into the Void Race if he wants to after this. He's still just continuously building gateways, however.
The Stalker slightly out of position. Hyvaa micros it perfectly, and does he get a perfect surround? No, just... This seems like watching Dota 2 or something, but finally gets a perfect surround, and the Stalker gets taken out.
So it was a good little maneuvering and juking for a while there, but man, the Zerglings, they got their dinner there with that Stalker.
Unfortunately, the Stalker did not have the blink.
Alright, well, looking at what we're seeing here from Free, he's going to have a lot of gateways. He may go just for a very large gateway timing. He's going to have the free base economy and a lot of gateways, the +1 attack. And if we're seeing here, we do have Midas on the way, though, from Hyvaa. And he's going to be moving into a Hydra Wing composition from the looks of things.
Yeah, in fact, he knows that his opponent went for a greedy play, so there's not going to be any 2-base shenanigans from Free. So he can skip the Roaches right away, get the Hydras out, get the DPS, knowing that his opponent is not going to have the Robo or Stargate anytime soon.
Yeah, I love that the Zerglings from Hyvaa are being pretty active, consistently scouting around as well. And it looks like we have an Evolution Chamber starting now for Hyvaa as well. He's moving into more and more Hydras, getting the Hydra speed upgrade. And Twilight Council actually on the way along with the Robo from Free. So I have a feeling he may go for a +2 timing with just a ridiculous amount of gateway units. But at the same time, you know, he can just go into that standard macro style.
Yeah, and going for a pure gateway army, it's going to be fantastic if he has a +2 finish, but remember, Hydras, they have the high DPS, so he needs to micro it carefully if he decides to go for the attack. He gets a double confirmation inside the main base. You know what? He has a third base secured right now. He has a good number of gateways. He's well fortified on 3 bases. He's getting the tech right now. There's no reason for him to risk everything just to go for a timing attack. Yes, he can get the +2 out, but I would like to see him add in a little more Colossus into the mix to make sure that he can roast the Zerglings and Hydras easily.
Yeah. We have +2 attack for the Protoss on the way, and I know that because in the most recent patch,
thank you,
they finally did it. They changed the colors for the Protoss upgrades, and now it's so obvious what they are, and I'm really happy they decided to do that.
Except it's not blue.
Yeah, well, the +3 is blue.
You know what? At least we can tell the difference between the upgrades.
Exactly. That's the important thing. So Hyvaa is going to go ahead and grab the 4th expansion now, being pretty aggressive here. But I guess that Free, he did get a fast 3rd, so Hyvaa can get a fast 4th as well. And he's actually going for a Roach War now, interestingly enough. Pretty late on in the game, but I mean, the Roaches are still useful at pretty much all stages of the game. And we do have Hyvaa going for the Robo Bay, and he's also getting the Blink upgrade as well. Really just going to be moving into a strong late game army composition on Free's end.
Yeah, in fact, if the Zerg player does not touch the Protoss player, all the Protoss player has to do is get the Death Ball out. Get a lot of Colossus in the mix, maybe add in some Archons behind it while taking up, getting the upgrades out to make sure that you can defend against any timing push from the Zerg, and when you max out, just move out on the map and crush your opponent.
Wow, 5 gateways in production, Supernova Maniac.
Yeah.
We're going to have a humongous Protoss army heading across the map very soon.
Yeah, in fact, the first Colossus almost finished right now with the Thermal Lance on the way. Are we going to see a second Colossus? Yes, we do. And with the gateways finishing up, this is looking like a really strong army from Free. And Hyvaa, if he knows about this, he needs to spam out a lot of units right now.
+3 starting as well for the Protoss player. Love that new graphic. That looks so sexy, that upgrade. It's like, yeah, Protoss players are going to kick some butt after this upgrade finishes.
Oh yeah, definitely yes. Look at this, Free is getting into a perfect position at the 4th base. His opponent Hyvaa, he has the Hydras and the Roaches, but remember, this is Hydra-based composition, which means that if he does not take out the Colossus, Colossus can take away the Hydras easily.
I think he's actually going to lose the expansion. It's getting low on health, but Free
doesn't
losing bad.
But he's going to try to surround the army from both sides right now.
Oh, the
remember the
Mothership
force
fields. The force fields are good. The Mothership Core gets picked off, though, and Free decides to back up here. We're seeing the highlights going to move forward here, trying to do a bit of a surround. The force fields are solid, segmenting off large portions of the Zerg army, and Hyvaa's got to back up here. He doesn't have anything to deal with the Colossi. We have 12 Corruptors are now being built at once.
Well, he relied on the fact that his opponent only has one Colossus, which means that yes, the Colossus can eat away on the Zerglings and Hydras, but that's only one Colossus, which means that if he just gets a nice round from both sides, he can eat away on the army. But now he definitely needs the Corruptors against the Colossus, and if he makes the same mistake like that once again, he's gonna lose the fort base, he's gonna lose the main army, and he's gonna lose the game.
Yep. All right. We do see Free moving across the map. He's gathered up a lot of armies. He's got a lot of gateways. And this is a great position for him. But hold on, no. If he gets surrounded, it's not going to work out. The Colossi are going to get picked up very fast by those Corruptors as well. And there's not enough force fields, it looks like, to deal with the Hydras from the top. And the Colossi, they're going to end up falling. But the ground army, I think Free's going to manage to win on the ground with the additional reinforcements from Hiva. Will they be enough to deal with the Blink Stalkers here? Free marching forward with the majority of his units. And if Hiva loses this 4th expansion, he's going to be in a terrible spot.
Yeah, in fact, all he has to do right now is defend the fort base. He took out a lot of Colossus, which is a fantastic win for him, but the problem is this gateway army with the number of sentries, he can take out the fort base, so if he loses the fort base, he needs to make sure his opponent cannot go back home safely. If not, even if you lose a lot of Zerglings and Roaches, just save the fort base and make sure you get the Hive up and you are completely safe. But this is looking really dire for Hive right now.
Hive's going to be able to easily pick off the Colossus. Oh, actually, missed Hydras there a little bit, loses the Overseer as well. And the Extractor falls, with the static defenses fall. The 4th base, it's going to end up falling as well. Hive simply just doesn't have enough units to deal with this.
He doesn't have enough units, and the positioning was perfect for Free. Remember, the hatchery is in such a position where Free can use a hatchery as a part of natural force field over there, and it forced Hiva away from the position. He actually could not engage into that position.
Yeah, I feel like actually maybe overmade on the Corruptors a little bit there.
Yeah.
He made up to 12, and I think he would have been okay with maybe like 9 is would be a good number against the Colossi here, but now that doesn't even matter because the amount of Blink Stalkers here. The +3 attack, the Sentry support, even an Immortal added into the mix as well. Hiva may end up losing the Macro Hatchery as well here. I think it's only a matter of time. Moving Stars poised to bring it back to SDX. So
yes,
tied up 2-2 for most of the things. Hiva even forced to abandon, or no, he's going to actually go for the attack, bringing his drones on the line as well.
But the force fields are perfect over there, cutting up a lot of units over there, pushing, pretty much splitting his opponent's army in half. He can take out the 3rd base easily. He took out half of his opponent's main army. All he has to do is push up and win the game at this position.
This is the last stand of Hiva. He's forced to evacuate that 3rd expansion. Now the Hatchery is being picked off, and Free continuously reinforcing with additional Zealots and Immortals, added to a very solid Blink Stalker army mix. That +3 attack. Hiva, he just doesn't have a lot of upgrades here. His units are just getting obliterated by this heavily upgraded Protoss army.
He does have the Hydras and the Roaches, but that's 3 Stalkers in the main army right now. Immortal's also doing a nice damage against the Roaches. As Free, he's just putting out the force fields. Hiva, he's trying to make something happen, but that's too many Stalkers from his opponent.
Hiva, he's running out of units, man. I think this is going to be lights out for the STX Soul Zerg player as Free marches into the main base of Hiva. He's forced to attack with drones. He knows it's over. He's still trying to make a desperate last stand, but this is really it for the STX Soul player. Free, it looks like he's going to go ahead and win the match here. Forward flank with the Stalkers as well, finishing off the last units. Hiva doesn't even have his hands on the keyboard, wondering, where did I go wrong in this game? What did I do? And GG is called 2-2 now between Moonjin Stars and STX Soul.
His defense against the Colossus early game was fantastic with the 12 Corruptors taking out the 3 Colossus easily, but the problem is there was no reinforcement and the Gateway army with the upgrades. Really solid for Free, and he also allowed Free to get into such position where Hiva, if he actually tried to engage and surround the Gateway army, Free can just use infinite force fields to cut out his opponent's main army easily and win the engagement and win the game, so Hiva had to give up the 4th base.
Yeah, it seems like that was just a really strong push. We're starting to see a little bit more often from Protoss players, very, heavy on the gateway units and not as many Colossi added into the mix, just enough to force response against those Colossi. And with the timings, the blank, just the sheer amount of gateway units there, I mean, I guess against that, you need Infestors or something, or you need the max out on the Roach Hydra.
Yeah.
A few too many Corruptors as well. I think that really hurt Hiva as well, and the positioning, just everything worked very well for Free in that match.
Yeah, in fact, as a Protoss player, if you get into that little choke with a lot of sentries, you know you can take out the fourth base easily. You know, you can use the hatchery as part of the force field to cut off your opponent's army from behind to surround. It's not going to matter because you can use the force fields to cut him out. As a fourth base, it's free to take it down.
So Free has managed to get a little bit of revenge against hyvaa and even up the score between their personal head-to-heads, 1-1 now for StarCraft2.
Well, he did even up in the StarCraft2 record, but remember, he did even out the score between Legion Stars and STXO.
He did. Very good point as well, Supernova Maniac. Now we're going to find out, I guess introduce. We already know who the players are, but we're going to go ahead and introduce the next two players. We have Zero and Trap. Zero first from Legion Stars, Trap from STXO. It's another ZVP, but this time the races are switched to the opposite teams here. The next set 5 on Newkirk Precinct. It's going to be Zero versus Trap. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after this commercial break.